G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller and I'm at a clinic here in Australia, and this is a yearling filly that a lady brought along to the clinic, and she said she hasn't done much with her. She has brushed her though, okay? I would suggest with these horses when you first start with them, don't bother brushing them because it doesn't help anything. You know, it doesn't hinder anything, but this girl has brushed this filly for 6 months, so she can brush her all over, okay? But I think that's all she can do, because I started out this morning, she said, oh, I can brush her, and I said, oh, okay, well, let me just start desensitizing her. When I started doing this right here, this filly jumped and ran around like an idiot, like, oh, God, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. So she spent 6 months brushing her and hasn't really taught her anything except brushing. If I can do this, I can brush her. If I can do this all over her, I can definitely brush her. If I can do this, I'm working on getting the saddle pad on her when I start to saddle her. I'm working on getting the blanket or the rug on her when I start to rug her. I'm working on getting her to think and get over things. You know, I said, have you picked up, she said she's picked up her front feet too, and I said, I personally don't pick up the front feet of anything until they're good at everything else, because if this little bit of movement here scares the hell out of her, I don't want to be underneath her and have something scare the hell out of her and have to jump on me, you know what I mean? So then I said to her, have you picked up her back feet? And she said, no. I went, okay. And I started doing this, and when I started doing that, she acted like she wanted to kick. And I said, see, so I wouldn't be picking up her back feet yet. And she says, and the lady said, yes, but I've brushed her tail. And I said, the first time I brush their tail, I brush it with this. I want to make sure that she's good with all this stuff. You know, if you were to put a rug, as they call it in Australia, blanket in America, if you were going to put one of those on there, you need to be able to do the back leg straps up. The first time I work on doing back leg straps up is right here. First day I mess with them, I don't even have the blanket or the rug on them yet, but I'm doing up the back leg straps. I'm making sure that's not going to bother them. Anyway, so I went, you know, I just went through the whole little process real quick of starting there, getting her good at that, and then getting her good at this, where this noise doesn't really bother her. And then I went and got her good at this right here. So how many people, when they're riding their horse, would something like this bother them? Okay, I'm fixing that. I'm fixing that in 2 years' time when you're riding along on the road and some bloke with a motorbike comes out and goes, "Rah!" That's the same thing. We are fixing that stuff right now. So I don't usually deal with individual problems. You know, I don't go, well, I want to work on brushing my horse's tail. I've worked on brushing their tail before I've ever brushed their tail. So anyway, that's just, you know, a quick little snippet of how, if you just do all the groundwork correctly, it takes care of a lot of stuff without even taking care of it. This morning, I got an email from a lady who was at a clinic with me the other day. She came to 2 clinics in a row, and her horse had some issues, you know, mental issues, like was worried about a lot of stuff. And we took care of a lot of that during the clinic with some of this stuff, with some riding. But anyway, she sent me a message and she said, my horse is always bad in the float, which is in Australia what they call a horse trailer. She said, my horse is bad in the float always. It just rocks and bounces around every time she goes in there. It's never been any different. And she said, it took me 3.5 hours to get home from the clinic. That's how long it was. She said, I thought she was in there, she was dead or something, because she didn't move all the way. We didn't address the trailering problem, didn't address any of that. We just addressed getting that horse a little more mentally comfortable with everything, and it carried over to the trailer as well. But anyway, so that's a little snippet about why I don't brush young horses for the first time, because it is a standalone event and you're only teaching to get brushed and nothing else. So, hope that helps. See you guys next time.